Hey there friends, Susan here. So I have our second fun fold for the month of May 2026. This one's referred to as this Easy Fan Fold card. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of cute little card. Kind of simple, but you know, a little intricate. So I'm going to use Blueberry Bushel again in our Bloom Impressions DSP, so the same as last time with our colors. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So this one, the angle cuts are a little tricky, but they're not impossible. So let's just do them together and we'll get through it. Okay, so first we need a half sheet of cardstock. So 8.5 by 5.5. And we're going to score it at 4 1/4, just like normal. So that's nice standard card base, right? 4 1/4, score don't cut. Okay, score don't cut. There is our card base. Okay, then you see that you need a matching piece of cardstock that is 1.5 by 5.5. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this scrap at 5.5. And then I'm going to turn it and cut it at 1.5. This is part of the fan. Ooh, come on, 5.5 by 1.5. Okay, that's going to be part of our fan. Okay, now we need 2 pieces of Designer Series paper. Actually, we just need 2 coordinating pieces. I'm going to use this piece again because I really like that blue, and I'm going to use the back side as my coordinating. So I need a 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to turn this way and get 5 1/4. Flip that over to my other piece, and then I'm going to turn this way and go by 4. That's our standard step in, right, if we want it at the front of our card. And then I need another piece that measures 5 by 1 1/4. So I have this piece here, so I need to go 1 1/4, and then I need to trim that down to 5. Trim that down to 5. That's going to be another piece of our fan embellishment. Okay. And let's see, we need a liner. I'm going to go with a white. I need 4 by 5 1/4 again. Okay, so this time I'm going to go 4 and turn it and get my 5 1/4. That'll be for my liner. All my little scrap pieces up there. And then I need my coordinating DSP, and this one I need 4 3/4 by 2 1/4. So 4 3/4, okay, it's long enough, by 2 1/4. So 2 1/4 this way. And 4 3/4 this way. Okay, now we're not done cutting yet, but we're done for that part. All our pieces are ready. Okay, so as you can see, we trim off part of the front, and that front piece is going to become part of our, fan? I think it does become this piece of our fan. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with these. So the first thing is the base. The instructions say to measure 2.5 inches across the top and make little mark. I do not have a pencil on my table, so I'm going to use pen, which I know I usually say, don't use pen, you can't erase it, but it's what I have today. So 2.5 inches at the top. Okay, so this is my top, but my measure is at my bottom. Well, I suppose I can use it up here. All right, 2.5 inches, 2.5. So this is my 2.5 inch mark. I'm going to put my cardstock right there, and I'm just going to make a little dot right there. Okay, just has to be enough so that you can see it when you put it on your cutter. Then bring your cutter back in. I'm going to close this because I don't think I need it extended any longer. Okay, so I'm going to cut from that 2.5 inch dot to this corner. So you need to lay this in your track so that that little dot is in the cutting groove and this corner is in the cutting groove. So take your time, line up your angle. Okay, my dot, the corner of my card, and cut. Okay, that's going to be part of our fan. So now our card front is cut and we've got one piece of our fan. Okay, front and the fan. Now, next thing says position in the paper cutter the 2.5 inch mark on your DSP. So repeat the same process. Okay, here's my DSP. That's my 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to put a little mark right there so I can see it. And again, repeat the process. So I'm putting my little mark in my gray blade and my corner of my DSP down here. Okay, so we're going to get an even cut, and this is going to become the front of the card. Okay, so there's that. And this we're actually going to use on the inside because I do not like to waste paper and I think it's pretty snazzy. So we're going to end up using both pieces. Okay, now on the 5 1/4 by 4, we just did that. All right. So now on the 5 1/2 by 1.5 piece of matching cardstock, okay, this is our blueberry bushel, we want to cut from the upper left to the lower right. You're basically splitting it in half. So it doesn't really matter which way you do it, you're going to end up with 2 triangles. So put the corner, opposite corners in your track as best as you can. Are they still there? Nope, I wiggled a little bit. And cut. Alright, you get 2, you only need 1. So you have an extra. There. Alright, so that's going to be another piece of our flag. Now we need to do the same thing with our DSP. Okay, so this is the one that matches our front of our card. So I'm going to put this in like that. Okay, so this one's going to go on here. This is my extra. I gotta get it off my thing. Alright, and then we have our background piece. Same idea. Cut it from one corner to the other, opposite each other. Make sure that both points are in the cutting groove. And then trim. Oh, and hopefully you can get yours off your thing. Alright, so that's going to go on there. Alrighty. All the cutting is done, and now we just have to put it together. So, we just need adhesive now. Alright, so we're going to put this DSP on the front. There we go. So, this just gets stepped in. Square it off. Step it in, and then I'm going to go ahead and mount these together. So I'm just going to put mine in here like this. Okay, so I'm just not wasting this piece that we cut. So just line that up the inside of your card, and then just put that in as your liner. Kind of ties the front to the inside. I like that. Use the bone folder to give this a good crease. Alright, so now let's build our little fan, right? So this one's going to go over like that, and then this is going to go over the top, and this goes over the top of that. Okay, and you can pull this one out a little bit so there's a little fanfare, right, to the element. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. Get this off the edge. So I'm lining that up. So I would put this piece on first because you want to make sure it goes right in the corner down here, kind of split your scent, but you also want to get it so it's inside the edges of your card, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add adhesive at the bottom, up a little bit, but not too far, and then I'm going to put, nope, I'm going to put this on like this. Make sure I've got it positioned inside the frame of my card. Press that down. And if you think you need to put more adhesive on, I would pull this up and just put it right here. Okay. If you guess how high up you go, you're going to put too much on and then it's all going to stick together and you don't want that. Alright, so now we're going to do this one. Flip this over if I can get it to work. Okay. And pull this down so I can flip it over. Put this on. Now this one they're going to see, so really positioned it so it's framed in nicely. And then this one's going to go over the top, if I can get it off. Alright. And so as long as your blue rectangle is, no, triangle. It's a triangle. It has 3 sides. As long as your blue triangle is covering the bottom here, right, it'll be fine. And see, you can go up higher with this one, and it still fits inside the card. So this one you can put glue almost to the end. Okay, almost to the end. Just press that down, and I really like the way it looks. All these angles and overlays, but it really pops, I think. So I'm really excited to share this one with you guys. It's not very hard. Those, you know, triangle cuts are a little bit tricky, but this one wasn't hard at all. And there you go. There is your second fun fold. All right, ladies, I hope you enjoyed both projects, and I'll have new ones for you next month. So until then, do some fun stamping. Bye-bye.